is Thursday, July 31st. Here's what we're working on this morning. Donald Trump says the Canadian backing of a Palestinian statehood could hinder U.S. trade negotiations.
Ontario's police watchdog is investigating after a provincial police officer shot someone in Niagara Falls.
And Jeannie Bouchard bids adieu with a hard-fought loss at the National Bank Open. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We have bid adieu to the heat wave and the heat alert.
Gone.
It's gone. It was refreshing stepping out, even though it was pouring rain when I left the house this morning.
But it was so nice.
I didn't care.
Yeah, it was like, it's raining.
Yes.
Thank you. Yay. All the plants are going, thank you. The grass is going to start to come back. Yeah, we got that light rain this morning. Actually, it was heavier, as you said, a little while ago. It's not too bad right now. It's fairly light at the moment, but the temperature, what a difference it's going to be today. We're sitting at 16 degrees right now, which is a nice fresh start to the day, and actually that's about seasonal to start a morning this time of year. Yesterday we got to 29. Today's high is 21 degrees. That's it for the day. That's below seasonal. And the good news is we're getting the showers. We've had them throughout the overnight hours. They will taper off this morning, and we'll get some sunshine later on today. Humidex about 26, so still it's going to be comfortable even when you factor in the humidity. But we have a special air quality statement in effect for just about all of southern Ontario due to the smoke that's invading from the north, and we will talk about that in detail coming up. All right, let's have a quick check on traffic. Yes, wet roads this morning. 403 Waterdown Road, no problems with volume. No collisions at the moment. That's our camera. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras, check what's happening here at Nikola Tesla. Toronto bound towards us. Same here, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. No problems there all the way through Third Line. Everything's moving nicely so far today. Weather and traffic, we always check it for you, and we'll do it in detail coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. With just a day until Donald Trump's tariff deadline, a trade deal appears increasingly unlikely between Canada and the U.S. after an overnight social media post that he made. Sean Cowan joins us with more. Sean?
Annette, Mark Carney held a news conference yesterday to announce that Canada plans to recognize Palestine as a state in September. He also took questions from the media on current negotiations between Canada and the U.S. And this morning we are hearing from Donald Trump. Just after midnight, Trump took to Truth Social and said Canada has just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. This will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Carney was asked yesterday about current negotiations.
Look, these are complex, they're comprehensive, they're constructive negotiations with the Americans are ongoing. It's possible that they may not conclude by the 1st of August. But we'll see. With the teams there, we're working hard. Conversations today, myself.
Carney also said talks are covering a broad variety of topics. He says there is a lot of ground to cover, like defense spending, security spending, and investments. Trump previously sent a letter to Carney threatening to impose 35% tariffs if Canada doesn't make a trade deal by Friday. And Prime Minister Mark Carney says talks are ongoing, but that deadline is now less than 24 hours away to reach a trade deal. So we'll have to see how the morning and the day unfolds. Rick?
All right, thank you, Sean. The province's police watchdog is investigating after an incident in Niagara Falls left a 40-year-old man dead and a Hamilton police officer with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The Special Investigations Unit says the shooting happened just after 11 a.m. yesterday at the Ramada Hotel on Stanley Avenue near Clifton Hill. Niagara police were not involved in the shooting. The SIU says it was a Toronto police officer with the OPP's Repeated Offender Parole Enforcement Unit.
The male exited the Ramada behind me, and then officers moved in to arrest this individual, and there was an interaction, and one officer who was a Toronto Police Service officer who was seconded to this rope squad shot the man, and that man was taken to hospital where he has been pronounced deceased.
The SIU has not said how the Hamilton officer was injured, and it is investigating the moments leading up to the shooting.
The manhunt is over following a deadly hit and run in Niagara region. 50-year-old Davy Ricchetti is being held in custody on second-degree murder. Peel Regional and Toronto Police helped Niagara officers with the arrest. Ricchetti had been seen in Mississauga in a stolen Honda CR-V. The vehicle was found set on fire a week ago. Now, that CR-V belonged to 82-year-old Larry Pierce, a retired St. Catharines firefighter. He died a day after being hit by his vehicle trying to stop someone from taking it at a lakefront park in Lincoln the morning of Thursday, July 17th. A woman says her car was shot at Monday night in Hamilton's East End, and the shots were captured on a nearby security camera.
We ran upstairs, but not all the way, because we were like, uh-oh, you know, I don't want to get shot. We knew it was gunfire. You could tell.
Now, the video shows a person roll up on an e-scooter, pull out a gun, and shoot the vehicle in front of a house 7 times. Police haven't commented on the video, but say they were called first to Battlefield Drive and Robb Avenue around 10:30 on Tuesday night. Around an hour and a half later, police responded to another report of gunshots near Kenilworth and Roxborough Avenues, although they found no evidence of a shooting there. Hamilton police say a witness seen running from Sunday's fatal shooting in Dundas has now come forward. 25-year-old Zachary Schumann was shot and killed near a parking lot on Governor's Road. Police had been looking for a woman who was seen running away, and she's contacted police. Witnesses say there was an earlier encounter at a nearby Metro parking lot with somebody in a blue Ford Edge believed to be the shooter. Police are still trying to identify that driver. Now, as Hamilton police investigate a number of shootings just this week, investigators say they've actually seen a drop in gun violence compared to last year. So far this year, there have been 25 confirmed shootings in Hamilton, a decrease from the 38 recorded across the city by this time last year. Despite the decrease, police say there have still already been 5 gun-related deaths in 2025, including the deaths of 2 random bystanders, which is an increase compared to 4 deaths last year.
Sportsline, Eugenie Bouchard is riding off into the sunset. She lost to Belinda Bencic 6-2, 3-6, 6-4 in second-round action last night at the National Bank Open after announcing the tournament would be her last.
I think it's so special to play my last match here in Montreal on this court in front of you guys. I remember being a little kid sitting in these stands hoping and dreaming that I would play on this court one day. I grew up playing on these courts and courts all around Montreal and near here. So it feels like such a full circle moment to finish my career here.
The 31-year-old won her only WTA singles title in 2014 and was the first Canadian to play in a Grand Slam singles final at Wimbledon. Felix Auger-Aliassime was bounced in straight sets yesterday, but fellow Canadian Gabriel Diallo advanced. Burlington's Victoria Mboko faces Marie Buskova tonight. The Blue Jays stopped the bleeding and avoided a 4-game series sweep in Baltimore.
Hammer Lucas especially up and close to him.
Lucas hits one to deep right field. Homer. What a moment for the Blue Jays. What a moment for Nathan Lucas. What a much-needed hit right there as he comes off the bench and hits his 4th home run of the road trip.
Nathan Lucas smacked a pinch hit 3-run homer in a 5-run 7th inning, and the Blue Jays held on for a thrilling 9-8 win over the Orioles. Toronto fell behind 3-zip in the first inning, but Bo Bichette hit a 2-run single in the 7th to put the Jays up 6-5 before Lucas's heroics. Sir Anthony Dominguez pitched a scoreless 8th, and Jeff Hoffman closed out the game with his 25th save in 29 chances. Major League Baseball's trade deadline arrives at 6 p.m. Eastern today, but the Blue Jays have been relatively quiet. Arizona slugger Eugenio Suarez is headed to Seattle. Reliever Johan Duran has been traded by the Twins to the Phillies. The Cubs picked up Canadian pitcher Michael Soroka. The Yankees acquired outfielder Austin Slater, and the Mets added relievers Ryan Helsley and Tyler Rogers. Cleveland outfielder Stephen Kwan and Pittsburgh right-hander Mitch Keller are among the high-profile players who could be moved today. The Red Blacks are coming off their bye week and in desperate need of a win tonight when they host the Stampeders. At 1-6, Ottawa is last in the CFL, but they're getting some injured players back as they try to stop a 4-game slide. Starting quarterback Drew Brown and receiver Braylon Addison are among several players expected to return to the lineup. 5-2 Calgary has injury issues of their own, with star quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. and rookie receiver Damien Alford both ruled out. Quarterback Zach Caleros has been ruled out of Winnipeg's rematch against the Argos tomorrow night with a neck injury. The National Football League returns to the field tonight with the annual Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, where the Detroit Lions will take on the LA Chargers. Now, both teams will rest a bunch of their star players in this preseason opener, so we won't see Lions quarterback Jared Goff, receiver Amon St. Brown, or running back Jahmyr Gibbs. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert will also watch from the sideline. The Women's British Open begins today at Royal Portcrawl in Wales, and it includes Canadians Brooke Henderson and Anna Huang. 21-year-old Lottie Wad is the betting favorite after winning her LPGA debut last week. The Wyndham Championship tees off today in North Carolina. It's the last tournament the PGA's regular season to decide the FedEx Cup playoffs. Adam Hadwin, Adam Svensson, and Ben Silverman are the Canadians in the field.
All right, let's get you. Oh, on the button. Look at that, Rick. Woo-hoo. 11 minutes after 6 o'clock. Well done. Okay, let's get you into this last morning of July already. Oh, wow, this month has gone by so fast. Well, of course, it always does. Checking traffic, wet roads to contend with, but no problems as far as volume or collisions are concerned. 403 Waterdown Road, our camera looks good right there. We'll flip you around the horseshoe and see what's going on here. MTOs, Glendale, St. Catharines, nothing. Nikola Tesla Boulevard. Fairview Street, it's getting a little slower there, but still moving okay. No problems in Oakville at Royal Windsor, and Credit River moving nicely. Let's get to our temperature. Let's get to the forecast for the day today. Temperature at the moment, we are sitting at 16 degrees. That's a nice fresh start to the morning. We do have some light rain at the moment. The winds are picking up. They're northeast 18 to 28, and the humidity is, well, of course, right up there. Gone! The heat warning has been canceled. Okay, let's go right by that then and get to the air quality advisory that is now in effect for just about all of southern Ontario. Due to the forest fire smoke, the air quality will be not so great for today. In the moderate risk category, but at 6 for the morning, it's going to get a little bit better for the afternoon, but stay in the moderate risk category because of that smoke that's moving in. So there's the precipitation we've had over the past 6 hours. Green and the yellow is the heavier downpours moving away, and we're going to start to see some clearing after that area of precipitation moves off towards the east. That ridge of high, that's going to move in, and that's what's going to brighten up our day later on in the afternoon and give us a gorgeous weekend to come. So today, temperatures anywhere from 20 to 21 to 22 degrees. Yesterday's forecast was 31 for Hamilton, so what a change. But there's that shower this morning and then some sunshine later on. Tonight will be, well, some areas will be clear to partly cloudy. Temperatures cooler still, 10 to 13 to 14 degrees. And then tomorrow, temperatures sweet spot, mid-20s for the day. And look at that sunshine, 24 to 26 degrees for the day tomorrow. Do we normally do that? But here's a look at it anyhow, because it's such good news. Saturday and Sunday and Monday looks to be beautiful. We'll just give you a tease on that. And we will go in detail on the forecast, and we'll talk about the smoke a little bit more coming up later on. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, coming up after the break, Emily is back, and we have a preview of what she has coming up in Chit Chat. Also in business news, Microsoft has become just the second company ever to reach a $4 trillion market valuation. Look who's back.
Yeah.
It's Emily. That means we have Chit Chat coming up. Yay!
Yay! Not to mention it's cold today. Just throwing that out there.
Yes. Yes.
It's chilly. I wore a coat. Okay, coming up, South Park's raunchy season premiere breaks a record dating back to 1999. Wow. Still can't find a clip of it to show on the air, but
yeah, well, we can find one, but it's not suitable.
Not at all. So we'll still talk about it. Oreo and Reese's announce a very sweet collaboration. Delicious cookies. And later on this morning, we are going to take a look at the new trailer for Zootopia 2, and it looks fantastic.
Okay, thanks very much. We will chat with you in a bit on the couch. Coming up in business news right now, in overseas trading, the Canadian dollar has dropped another 18 basis points after the Bank of Canada kept its key interest rate unchanged as expected. Gold is up $10.50 an ounce. Crude oil is down 9 cents, just under $70 US a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, markets are up in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were up in Tokyo, but down in Hong Kong and Shanghai. And on North American markets, the TSX lost 169 points yesterday. The Dow dropped 171. The NASDAQ was up 31 points. U.S. stock futures up after Meta and Microsoft posted solid earnings reports.
Speaking of, Microsoft has now become the second most valuable company in the world. The tech giant has joined the $4 trillion club alongside AI chip maker NVIDIA. The jump comes after Microsoft reported 18% revenue growth in after-hours trading. Like NVIDIA, Microsoft is heavily involved in artificial intelligence, but it was the company's Azure cloud computing business that fueled most of its recent growth. That sector climbed 34% over last year for Microsoft.
Meta stock jumped nearly 10% in aftermarket trading after it announced plans for developing AI to what it says will benefit people's personal life. Meta posted earnings yesterday that were up 38% per share from the same period a year ago and well above what Wall Street analysts had expected. The company's stock has risen 16% since the start of this year.
The Ontario government has now officially canceled its $100 million contract with Elon Musk's Starlink internet services. The province hasn't said how much it costs taxpayers to get out of this deal. It would have also included Starlink internet for remote First Nations and many rural areas. So the province is now set to find a replacement method to connect those communities. Premier Doug Ford had threatened to kill the deal in February if U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods were imposed, and he followed through with the threat in March.
Canada's central bank is holding its benchmark interest rate at 2.75% for the third consecutive time, pointing to trade uncertainty. But the decision is being criticized by Premier Doug Ford. In a post on X, Ford writes, "Rather than wait around and let President Trump's tariffs do even more damage to our economy, the Bank of Canada needs to cut interest rates now." The bank says the rate will remain at 2.75%, but did hint that rate cuts could be on the table for September, depending on how the tariff war plays out. Bank Governor Tiff Macklem says a recession could be in play if tariffs are raised.
Hudson's Bay is headed back to court this morning to get permission to sell more of its leases. It wants Ontario's Superior Court approval to sell 5 leases to clothing retailer YM for just over $5 million. So YM owns several retail chains that are often in malls, including Blue Notes, Urban Planet, Suzy Shear, and West 49. The Bay will also ask the court to allow it to move forward with another deal that it struck to sell its leases to Metrotown in Burnaby, BC, to Ivanhoe Realties for $20,000.
Canadian Tire is cutting some corporate positions, but hasn't disclosed how many. A spokesperson at the retailer tells us these changes are part of a restructuring announced earlier this year. They cite global competition and the need for greater speed and efficiency as key reasons, adding that it's changing processes and teams to transform the business. Some corporate roles will grow while others will be eliminated. The company believes these moves are necessary to remain a strong retailer, create jobs, and contribute to the Canadian economy in the long term. Back in March, Canadian Tire announced a new strategy to invest $2 billion over 4 years to restructure the company for growth.
Okay, we're taking a quick break right now. Brian is going to be back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast and a hint. Once this rain clears out, we are golden.
Good morning, 23 minutes after 6 o'clock, last day of July, looking at traffic. Look at the rain coming down here at the QEW Martindale. It's no problems as far as traffic is concerned, but still raining fairly heavily there. Getting slow, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, normal for this time of the morning. Third line, same there, starting to get a little heavier. Sheraton through Mississauga looks good, and so does the 403 at Central Parkway East. No problems on the roads right now. All right, let's get to our temperature as you step out the door this morning, 31st of July already. We do have a 16-degree temperature. The winds have really picked up in the last hour or so, and we do still have some light rain. Temperatures in other areas this morning, 19 for Grimsby, 18 Mississauga, 20 into Toronto. Here's a look at the smoke that has pushed into southern Ontario. It happened during the day yesterday, late in the day, and that's a look how thick it is at the moment. So fairly easy. The good news is it's going to start to clear from the north as the day progresses, so the air quality will start to improve as the afternoon goes on. Sun times for today, 6:08 and 8:43. Those are our seasonal temperatures and records for today. And that shower activity today will taper off, should be gone by noon, and then we're going to see some sunshine. But 21 today, what a difference in temperature, feeling like 26. Tonight down to 13. Partly cloudy. Tomorrow, just a beautiful day getting into August. Sunshine and 24, a little bit of cloud cover. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all 3 days of our civic holiday weekend, 27, 28, and 25, and more sun for the middle of next week. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, a story that we brought you earlier this week really shows the power of community.
Back on Monday, someone stole a specialized wheelchair from the home of 22-year-old Aladdin El Harb, a Syrian refugee who was born with a severe disability. The chair was the only way he was able to leave the house. But after seeing Aladdin's story, the Organization for the Needy, Not the Greedy stepped in to help.
When you see these poor people trying to get around, just to be able to get outside, it affects their quality of life. We knew we needed to do something.
This will help him to make him happy, and when he will see that, I am sure he will be more excited.
So that's his older brother, Khalid, who went to see the chair at the store in Niagara and is set to bring it home today for free. How nice is that? Because we got the email actually after we ran the story yesterday morning. Got it from that organization saying that they wanted to step in to help.
Yeah, way to go to Valerie and all the staff there.
Yeah, really
Stay
great.
with us. More to come after the break, including a reset with a weather forecast.